Hello, this is Minder Chen. I'm Professor of Management Information System at Martin Visma School of Business and Economics, California State University, Channel Island. And we're going to talk about entrepreneurships. Last time we covered the characteristic of an entrepreneur. And in this lecture, we're going to discuss Jeffrey Timmons' model of entrepreneurships. And before we get into Timmons' model of entrepreneurship, let's just review a little bit of the three core elements of a startup, what constitutes as a good startup. First is the calibers of the team, of the startup team, the founding teams, which are critical to the success of a startup company. And the quality of a startup product. You have a leading innovative product that's welcomed by the market. And the third is the potential size of the market for the product or services that you're creating. And let's start to introduce Timmons' model of entrepreneurships. Jeffrey Timmons was a professor at Babson College, which are known for its entrepreneurship program. And in Timmons' model, he considers opportunity, teams, and resources as the three critical factors available to entrepreneur, and hold that success depends on the ability of entrepreneurs to balance this three critical factors to be able to assess and evaluate opportunity come in their way, and to be able to marshal the resources that may be available to them. And the third is to be able to form the startup teams. As we mentioned, startup team is one of the critical factors earlier. And the entrepreneurs search for an opportunity, and on finding it, the entrepreneur shapes the opportunity into high potential venture by drawing up a team and gather the required resources to start a business that capitalize on the opportunity. The entrepreneur risks his or her career and personal cash flow and net worth in order to pursue such opportunity. And there are several references here. This is actually a chapter from Jeffrey Timmons' book called New Venture Creation, which actually discusses this model in detail, which is a good resource that you can refer to. In a diagram, it's easier for us to understand Timmons' model. The three key elements are opportunity, resources, and the team. And the opportunity, first of all, are fuzzy at the beginning. So over time, you need to get some clarification in terms of whether the opportunity is a real one. And because of the ambiguity, it actually cause a lot of uncertainty and risk involved in new ventures. And when you see the opportunity, the founder, the team, actually need to create a business model, a business plan, and in order to seek out resources that may be required in order to pursue opportunity. And the resource can be external. A leadership's kind of attribute of the team, particularly the founders, will be necessary to convince external stakeholders to participate in this new ventures creation process. And certainly the team involves the founder. The founder need to really balance the uncertainty and the risk, at the same time try to acquire financial capital from the financial market. To some extent, we understand the money follows high potential opportunity, conceived of or led by a strong management team. So to have a strong team, including the founders, is important in terms of a successful entrepreneurial activities. In Timmons' model, the starting point tends to be from opportunities. And at this point, you may not have money, strategy, network, team, or business plan. But you need to shape size. You need to shape and estimate the size and depth of the opportunity, and in order to establish the required resource and the team. So the starting point is opportunity, but based on the opportunity, you need to kind of acquire the resources and form a team. And the founder, which is the entrepreneur, need to take charge and to attract key player to the team, to the founding teams, and manage and redefine the risk-reward equation. And Timmons believed that entrepreneurial process was not just about creating new company capitals and job, but also about fostering an ingenious human spirit and improve humankind. This is documented in his book called Entrepreneurial Mind. And what entrepreneurs think about is the process of creating value by bringing together a unique combination of resources to pursue an opportunity. This is pretty much based on Timmons' model. And certainly the resource here include human resource, which is the team. What the entrepreneur do, based on Stevenson, is to pursue opportunity without regard to resources currently under control. These two statements seems to be contradictory to each other. However, if you're creative, innovative, and resourceful enough, you, with the opportunity identify, you should be able to put together resources, although the resources may not be owned by yourself, to help you to pursue the opportunity. And so as a founder, your role is to balance the opportunity and the resources and the team. You may start with opportunity, and then you may shift in terms of team building, and then focus on requiring resources. And when you have more resources, maybe you can identify additional, new or expanded opportunity, and then acquire more capable people to your team. So this three factors are kind of interrelated and interdependent on each other, and you have to constantly try to balance the three factors and move the new venture ahead. In terms of opportunity, opportunity can come from different directions. First, maybe due to some emerging technology. And in the IT field, we have something called Moore's Law, which means computer hardware improve its performance about 18 months. They double its performance every 18 months. And also there's a McAfee's law, which is really about network effect, which means the more people in your network, the value of the network will increase exponentially. And also there's something about disruptive technology, which tends to actually emerge from the low end of existing market, but improve its performance dramatically and can kind of grab the low end market, but eventually expand it to the high end market. So opportunity come from not just technology change, but also some change in the environment. including government deregulations, and also some changes in the value chain. Another sign for change which drive the needs for new solution would be some societal sea change, such as demographic shift, maybe towards more aging society, and or millennials is now in the workforce and they have different characteristic which may need new product and services to their liking. So if you are a keen kind of trend spotter or even better, a trend setter, you may be able to grab the opportunity in front of you. And also another factor is what we call it Brontosaurus factor, which means a lot of big companies, although they're very powerful, but they tend to be very slow in responding to the market need, driven by some of the factors identified earlier. So that's your chance. That's your chance as a startup company to compete with the big guy. To measure the opportunity, it can be measured in terms of the market demands, the market structure, and the size, and also the margin, the profit margin. We will discuss this in detail when we talk about market sizing and estimations much later in this class. So we're not going to discuss this in detail. In terms of resource, the current thinking of the resource, first of all, resource could means financial resource, physical asset, human resources, or even your business model and business plan can be intellectual kind of property resources. And in order to use the resource wisely, you need to unleash your creativity to come up with creative use and integration of not just internal but external resources. And therefore, you don't really need to tap into your own cash, your capital that much, because you really need to manage your cash flow very carefully. And in a very competitive environment, particularly when a lot of new startup company competing in the same piece of pie, you may easily run out of cash. If you can conserve your cash, you may be the last man standing and you will be the successful one. And so one of the worst things that can happen to an entrepreneur is to have too much money too early. Then you're not really careful in terms of conserving the resources, particularly the cash on hand. One way to kind of conserve the resources on your own resources is through something called bootstrapping. Bootstrapping believe in minimizing the use of resources and control those resources, but try to get things done with minimal resources. And there's a good reference by Guy Kawasaki about the art of bootstrapping, but from the new venture creation book, it talk about bootstrapping in the following way. Bootstrapping is about starting with minimal resource requirement, and then you're creating something which allow you to obtain additional resources, so you can kind of achieve more with less. And effective new ventures strive to minimize and control the resources, not maximize and own. This is actually consistent with the current thinking in e-commerce regarding so-called sharing economy, such as Uber's and Airbnb, is this kind of thinking. So the resource can be asset for the business, key people, the business plan, the capital. The last thing is the cash. So you try to conserve the cash. Conserving the cash allow you to conserve your equity, so you don't have to raise capital on the capital market that frequently. The team. The third factors is important. A lot of venture capital firms believe that they invest in a great team. It may not be their idea, it may not be even the technology, but the team. Because that's in really short supply. There's a saying that they preferred a great A entrepreneur and the team with a great B idea, and over a great B team with a great A idea. Because with an A team, they can evolve the great B idea into an A plus one over time, not the other way around. So entrepreneur leaders, they learn and teach fast and better. They can deal with adversity. They're really resilient. They exhibit integrity, dependability, and honesty. They focus on building the entrepreneurial culture and the startup organizations. The quality of the team, definitely you want them to have relevant industry or domain experience and a track record. That would be ideal. And they're motivated to excel. They're committed, they're determined, and they're persistent. They're tolerant of risk, ambiguity, and uncertainty, and they're very creative in come up with innovative solution. They take things into their own hand and control their destiny. They're very flexible, adaptable to adjust their kind of business model and business plan when the market validation indicate certain strategy or direction need to be changed. They're obsessed with opportunity, but very focused. They're not. Sometimes obsessed with opportunity may lead to out of focus and try to pursue too many ideas. That certainly will be the wrong things to do. And the team will have great leaderships, and they encourage each other, and they can communicate directly and very fast. The founder and the leader. The team ideally will be to have a team leader with track record. The person will be a pace setter. They are creating the culture for the startup company. They have the ability to attract other key management members to build up the team. And the founders who become the leaders does so by building heroes in their team, not himself. A leader would adopt a philosophy that rewards success and supports honest value, which is important. A startup company has the culture of tolerate value is very important. Share the wealth with others who help to create the new company. But they do set high standard for both the performance and the conduct. Last, this is based on a class called Startup Class by Y Combinator. You can follow this link. It's a very good online resource, highly recommended. Usually a lecture is like an hour and a half, hour long or something. And from that first lectures, it talk about the job for the founder and or the CEO. Need to set the vision to be able to raise capital. They are evangelists, which can evangelize their employee, the customer, or actually the investors. They know how to hire and manage a team, and they make sure the entire company has the execution power, not just planning the business plan on a piece of paper. This pretty much sum up the Timmons model for entrepreneurships. And next time, we will introduce something called effectuation, a very interesting theory and very useful one. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.